Well, if you've been to a clinic or hospital lately, you may have seen one of these signs. They're part of one of the latest projects from the organization, The Negative Space, aimed at shining some light on caregivers. So to tell us more about the mission, we're talking with the Negative Space founder and executive director, Allison Breiniger. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me and for shining light on caregivers.
Absolutely. This is such important work. And that's actually my first question. Why the Negative Space focuses specifically on family caregivers?
Yeah, so I'm a caregiver myself. I have been for 15 years for my husband, who has a rare disease that has caused multiple cancers. And I saw firsthand that there were all these resources and support and recognition for him and very little for me. And if you think about clinic and hospital spaces, you know, almost everybody, especially in the cancer space, brings a caregiver with them. And I know firsthand and from the caregivers that I support that caregiving impacts every single aspect of my life. Physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, my relationships, financial, all of that. And so to be impacted in such a way and then not have recognition or support just adds to that heaviness. And so that's at the Negative Space, we're trying to change that.
That is amazing work. And talk about that. You mentioned the physical, the mental aspect of being a caregiver. Go more into that.
Absolutely. So the research shows that caregivers, when we're compared to our peers, are 90% more likely to experience anxiety daily. There's a 63% higher mortality rate for caregivers, just because, and especially for those who are caring for a loved one who has dementia, sometimes those folks even pass away before the person they're caring for. Just because you think about, we put our needs at the bottom of the list. We often skip our screenings, our health screenings. We're not sleeping well, we're not eating well, all of those things. We're balancing so much. And so it impacts us physically, emotionally, mentally, in every way. And yet there's very little out there that's acknowledging that.
Right. So there's so much balance and so much sacrifice needed to be a
Absolutely.
caregiver. And you're helping with that with these new signs at 3 hospital systems. Tell us how they work and how they'll help.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're so grateful. Through a grant through the Minnesota Cancer Alliance, we partnered with Allina Health, mHealth Fairview, and Health Partners. And each of them has now, as of February 20th, which was National Caregiver Day, the day we launched, they have put up these signs in these spaces. And it seems like a really simple concept, but it's so powerful. Because these signs, as you can see, say things like, thank you, caregiver, for being here today. Or caregiver, you may have had to rearrange your work schedule to be here today. Things that are not typically acknowledged. And so the signs themselves then have a QR code that takes them to free resources. But what I'm just so excited about is them looking up in this space where they spend their time and seeing, oh, somebody sees me, somebody recognizes me, somebody's thanking me.
Yes.
So these signs are in places like infusion rooms, radiation suites, waiting rooms, places where caregivers spend their time. And now they'll look up, they'll see these signs, they'll get that recognition, and then they can scan the QR code. We have taken down every part, every paywall, every version of a login, because caregivers are tired. And so even though we had free codes and things for that, we thought caregivers don't have the energy to make another password, to make another account. So we took all of that down. So when they scan that QR code, they have access to all kinds of free resources that we have created specifically for caregivers in these moments.
Absolutely. This is amazing. This is huge and something I'm sure when you were a caregiver, you would have loved to have.
Oh, yeah,
so thank you
absolutely.
so much for sharing about this. This is a great addition to these hospital systems, and we have much more about these community resources at KARE11.com. You can also learn more about the Negative Space. Allison, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back after the break.